Hello and welcome to VB 411. I'm your host, Ms. Information, the know-it-all in City Hall, back again to bring truth and clarity to misconceptions and rumors. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at some numbers and check out a submission from our beach bucket. Well, it's budget season, which means city finances are put under the microscope. And that's as it should be. As stewards of taxpayer money, transparency is paramount. So when some half-truths began making the rounds on social media and in public forums that call the city's financial stability into question, it became an important topic for us to discuss here on VB 411. To be sure, this is a pretty deep topic, so I'm bringing in the heavy artillery this week and welcoming my first guest to the studio, Virginia Beach's Director of Finance, Patty Phillips. Patty, thank you for being here.
Glad to be here.
Now, some of our citizens have raised concerns about the city's debt and liabilities, specifically referring to unfunded liabilities. Now, I'm sure that you've seen this sign held up at public meetings and this report. Now, can you give us some context and give us some factual information?
Happy to. I do believe it is important that the benefits that are granted by the General Assembly, that we all understand there's a price tag associated with that, and recognizing the accrued pension liability is a way to do that. At the same time, it's important that we not be misleading and that we don't overstate what this calculation means. And I do want to stress that this is an annual calculation. It is not a bill the city receives. Here's some basic facts to get us started. A report by a website called Truth in Accounting is responsible for spreading some of this inaccurate information. The current estimate puts us at having more than $3.5 billion in assets available to pay all the people for the city and schools who will be retired someday. To meet all of the upcoming pension needs, however, we need about $4.6 billion, which is a shortfall of about $370 million for the city and about $700 million for the schools. Some of this liability was created when one of the assumptions used in the actuarial study was reduced, the assumption on investment rate of return. When that was reduced in fiscal 2011, the liability shot up. It's important to stress that VRS sets the rates, and every municipality in Virginia is facing the same challenge of this accrued liability. The city paid out $101 million for city and school employees in fiscal 2017, half of which went towards the unfunded pension liability.
So you're in effect making a house payment. So if I get a mortgage and I'm paying over a set amount of time, I'm not bankrupt today because I don't have the money for the bill that's due in 30 years?
It's very much like that. As an example, you have a $200,000 mortgage and you've been in that home for about 10 years. Let's say you've paid it down $50,000. The difference, $150,000, is your liability. But you don't have the money today to pay that. The lending institution knows you have a job and knows that you're going to be paying for it over time.
So now these payments made on the unfunded liability, does that mean that there's more money coming from taxpayers?
Well, it's important to stress that the rates we pay today is paying towards that unfunded liability, so there's not expected to be any increase to the taxpayers over time.
Well, thank you for giving some context to this issue. For more detailed information on this issue and the city's financial position, head over to vbgov.com/VB411. And if you still have questions, send me an email and I'll help you out. Now, in today's Beach Bucket segment. Ah, yes, from the water cooler. One of our employees said her son heard a rumor that the city's recyclables aren't recycled, but put in Mount Trashmore. I checked with Parks and Recreation, and they assure me that since Mount Trashmore opened in July of 1973, no waste dumping has occurred at the site. Everything was sealed up during the construction of the park, I promise. There's no hidden door in the side of the hill where we can add more. For more information about our city's waste and recycling programs, check out our previous episode. And now, you're in the know. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you again in 2 weeks for another round of fact-checking and rumor busting. And if there's a topic you'd like me to consider for a future episode, send me an email at misinfo@vbgov.com. See you next time.